Coffee with Joy. I'm your favorite host, Joy, with Coffee with Joy. So excited to have you all in the building. I'm so excited to have my guest, Kerrityn, as we talk about sweet melody. All my singers out there, this is a time to listen. Such a great information. We know singing is surely a talented job. As much as I believe that I am a songstress or singer. I know I'm not, but in the shower, I can really blow. But I know I have a guest here who can really blow, who can really sing. So I'm so excited to have her on the show. So after these messages, we're going to talk to my guest, Kerrityn, about her about her song, about her new project, and so forth. So stay tuned. After these messages, we'll bring on my guest. Have no fear. Advertise your business on our podcast. Connect with us, the Coffee with Joy Talk Show podcast, and let's grow together. Email us, and we surely look. Welcome to Coffee with Joy. Now I'm gonna bring my guest Kerrityn on. Hey, Kerrityn, how are you?
Hello.
Good. So excited to have you on the show. Before we begin, can you tell people a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to jump right into our conversation.
Okay, well, I'm excited to be here. God is good, and I'm just feeling so blessed and just happy for this opportunity. And my name is Kerrityn. I sing. I've been singing all my life. I turned 24 years old today. So yeah, she's 24. She's 24. And yeah, everything about me pretty much surrounds around God, my faith, my family. I love my family. They are my best friends. And music. Music.
Yes, awesome. Now, how did you get into me? How did you get into singing? Because like you stated, you've been singing all your life, but who pushed you? How did you really say, you know what, this is my calling? This is what God really has for me. How did you really know singing was it for you? How did you get into that?
That's a really good question. My mom likes to say I've been singing since I was born. Like she says, like I just came out the womb hollering and would not stop. And I'm like, well, that was me singing, you know. But technically, since I was 3, I've been
Okay.
singing since I was 3. Like before I could really even coherently form words and sentences, I have been
Mm,
singing. Like it's just I truly, truly believe that God just embedded it in my DNA. I've
mhm.
always been the girl to try out for every talent show, to try out for every talent day, raising my hand like, yes, I want to sign up for talent day. And kids will be like, "Ugh, of course, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, and my journey with music has honestly not been what I would have thought,
Mhm.
honestly, truth be told, because I thought I was gonna be like, into R&B and like soul music and like, all
Yeah.
these things that you grow up hearing, more so in the secular world of
Yeah.
music. But God just they say tell God your plans if you want him to laugh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And then I think in like well, I'm sure we'll get into that. But yeah, I've
Yeah.
just always been singing and my mom pushes me. She's pushed me since I was oh, I love my mom. That's like my best friend. She's
Yes.
been pushing me since I was in elementary school, driving
Mm,
me here, driving me to different cities for, if they had like something going on at their church or, just all sorts of things. So
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just super, super blessed and fortunate to have had a mom like her, Valerie Joe. I love
Mm.
that.
It's amazing because not many people have that same sentiment, right? But it's always great to know that you have a family member, especially your mother, to encourage you and push you to a dream worth loving. Not something that's a parent trying to live through their dream through you, but
Yeah.
actually you loving this dream and really loving and really seeing that, wow, I could really see the fruits from this tree really growing, and knowing that God is really using me,
Yes.
really placing me in a position where I can really blow. Now, have you always have as a child, have you always done like the solo part, or you try, people just realize like, I know Kerrityn's going to do it. She's just going to stand up and do the part. Have you always had like a solo part?
Um, Actually, no, like I was always singing, but
Yeah.
like singing has always been very, very personal to me and spiritual even before
Mhm.
like I could articulate that. Like it's just
Okay.
always been very, I don't know, when I say it's in me, like I really mean honestly, it's just in me. And
Yeah.
I used to be pretty shy like growing up. Like I would always do the talent shows and stuff, but like if it was a group setting, I think I always kind of stepped back. I didn't want people to feel like I was maybe stepping on toes or maybe like I felt I would get in my head because I do tend to overthink and I just wouldn't try out for
Yeah.
it. But like I said, God has always surrounded me just by support and love, not only like with my family, but with my teachers, so
Yeah.
music teachers, they knew, they just kind of saw it in me before I could
Mhm.
really see it in myself. I think like I just always knew it was something I loved and I wanted to be better. And I
Okay.
think that hunger for wanting to be better kind of in a way caused me to overthink and think that I wasn't where I should have been. But
Yeah.
yeah, teachers would see me and they would kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
you come to the front. Like I want you to do this solo or, stuff like that. And yeah, I think when I was younger though, for sure, I was a lot more I wanna do it, and then as you grow up and you get into middle school and high school, it's kinda like, but
Yeah.
God never let me drift too far into the back, so,
Oh,
yeah.
that's good. That's phenomenal. Now, what has been like the pros and cons in singing? Where do you find like your what is your let me just start there. Yeah. What is your pros and cons since you've been singing? What has been like your highs and lows as being the songstress?
Okay, that's a really good question. I've never thought about that. Pros and cons. I think, I'll start with the pros.
Okay.
I think the pros, I know that the pros are, when I'm singing, it's kinda like as if I could describe it, it's like my chest is like a bird cage, and it's like when
Mhm.
I open up my mouth and I sing and my voice comes out, it's like birds just like fluttering out, and it's just like
Yeah.
this
Oh,
freedom
okay.
that comes from
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and just like this overwhelmance of being transported somewhere else. And I know I'm not even trying to make it sound so mystical and magical, but like
Right.
if I could articulate it, that's how I would describe it. It's
Yeah.
just like it's such a freedom and it's such like a like this is what I'm meant to do. And I love like challenging myself to grow
Mhm.
as a singer. So I think that's a pro. And songwriting, I love songwriting, just being able to put things into words that I can't say, like verbally talking in a conversation
Okay.
and just be vulnerable in song. I definitely think that that's like a pro of being a singer, being able to write your own songs because
Mm.
nobody can connect as well as you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and just seeing how God uses well today because now I understand my gift and
Yeah.
my purpose. So today a pro would definitely be just seeing how God uses my voice and he kind of stewards it through me and to touch people and to reach people, to reach his people and
Yeah.
plant seeds in people all over the country, thanks to social media all over the country, all over the world. It's just growing and it's honestly crazy. Cons, let's
Yeah.
because I could go on about pros all day. Cons,
Right. Which is good. Which is good because and sometimes when the question's being asked, whoever want to look at their faults? I know I don't, right?
right.
Because again, we're human. That's going to come. If I could focus on my positive to continue to look at my cup half full instead of half empty, that's what pushes me to the next level because that's what fuels me. That what gives me energy. So of course, if your pros outweigh, you don't even have to search for a con,
I'm
because
the
again,
same
that's
way.
allowing that has allowed God to really show up and really add that fuel that constantly burn, knowing that not to say you don't have problems, right? Not to
Of
say it's
course.
not there, but we know that this good outweighed the bad.
Yes.
This excellent took away from my tribulation, my
Yes.
triumph going in. So it's just knowing that, wow, I can really explain and articulate that my singing has really taken off. I've been in places where I'm able to sing and be able to use my platform to be able to sing. So, and just to get the joy out of it, right?
Yes.
So of course, I don't want you to sit here and try to search for a con. If it ain't there, it's just not there. It's some people have cons, right? And it could be so vibrant, but and you still have some time to live. Pray to God, that it may come or it may not, but no one sits around and say, you know what? Let me see when this bad thing is gonna come. No, of course, I
But
will hope not.
I
Let me
would
say,
say there are like to anything you're super passionate about, like for you, the podcast, I imagine. Anything you're super passionate about and like you can see it, even
Mhm.
though it's not like quite there where you
Yeah,
want it to be quite yet. There's always like
yeah,
that longing and that like, okay, God, when is that gonna happen? When is that? And I think that would be a con, like wanting it so bad and being so passionate about it
yeah,
to where like me, I'm a super passionate person. I feel everything very deeply. And I think that's part of why, this art kind of works for me and
yeah.
it is what it is. But I think that would be the con, like wanting
Mm,
it so bad and needing it in a way to like sometimes I cannot sleep at night. Like I just think about it like
yeah.
I get up and I'm writing songs or I'm, laying in bed and I'm writing songs and I'm like, okay, God, like I need this or I'm praying constantly. Like,
Mhm.
I just want it so bad. I
Yeah.
think that's a con, because sometimes that can make you like get in your head and get kind of like, what am I not doing, or just get down about it. So that's the con. Yeah.
Now, what is like your favorite song to sing? I'm assuming in gospel, right? If you had to say one person, if you had to say one gospel singer that you really look up to, who would that person be and why?
Okay, this is so easy for me. I wish it wasn't this easy, but it's so easy. Um, I would have to say my favorite gospel singer and my mentor, Chandler
Mm,
Moore. That is like, he's just, I don't think I really knew what it meant to be a worship leader
mm,
and to just freely flow in worship,
yeah.
in heart and in soul and in spirit, until I heard his voice for the first time back in
Mhm.
like 2020, 2021.
Okay.
And I remember just being like enamored, like
Yeah.
just, oh my God. And it's kind of like something clicks for you.
Yeah.
Because I, like I told you, when I was younger, I knew I was gonna be like the next Rihanna or something. Like, that's
Right.
what I was going for.
Yeah.
But it's like, and your mom like, no, you're gonna sing for Jesus, you're gonna be,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
sing,
Yeah.
you gotta use his gift for him. And I'm like, Mom, that's not what I want to do. I do it to the Lord. But God takes us through journeys, and he always knows what his plan is. Uh, and I watched some song. I can't even remember which one it was. And I
Mhm.
saw him and I heard his voice, and it's like everything made sense because it was so different from what like I'd grown up seeing and grown up hearing as far as gospel and Christian
Yeah.
music. And I was like, oh, this is gospel. Like, this can be Christian music too. Like, this
Mm,
kind of vulnerability, this kind of like openness and like rawness and a bit of rebelliousness.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. So
Oh,
Chandler Moore, and I've gotten the chance to like speak with him and like
mm,
really have conversations with him and share some of my work with him. And he's amazing. I cannot wait for us to form like a proper mentorship, relationship, friendship, but we're
mm.
going we're going to speak that into existence.
Of course. Yeah, it's already spoken. It's already done. I look forward to it because it's always great where it's not to say you want to mimic this individual, but at least it gives like the ram of knowing, okay, God, I see what you're doing, right? You place
Yes.
this image, you giving me, even though
Yes.
I am my own blueprint, but you giving me something to really look up to really know that, hey, this is a burning desire of mine that you want for me. And knowing
Yes.
that you're showing me little nuggets upon my life to know that, hey, I want you to be like this. I hear something, but greater. So
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
always good.
Yes.
Now, I am not, like I stated in the open piece, I am not a songstress, singer. As much as I may look like I could blow, girl, I look like I can blow. I got tutu. But I do sing in the choir, people. Letting you know, I sing in the choir. I sound good with people. So I just want to let y'all know. Yep, yep, yep. For everybody
We
out
to
there.
God, all of our voices are beautiful. So it
Yes,
is, man does not dictate. It's okay.
right. So I'm an alto.
Okay.
Now, do you sing in various ranges or is it just one? Because if I had to look on the outside, even when I saw your picture coming on social media, I just automatically gave you like neo soul. That's before I even listened. It's like I saw neo soul before I listened to the words. So I was like, oh, okay. But of course, I was like, gospel, yes, yes, of course. So can you sing in various ranges or you just have one that particular range? And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know the terminologies of how. So keep in mind, I do not. It's something that you all that's something that you choose to sing into, or do you have various, or you can sing in various ranges, like the alto, soprano, tenor, bass.
Yes, ma'am. I tell anybody, like, if I'm going and I'm meeting up with other worshipers, or when I
Mhm.
was in the choir at school and all of this crazy, not crazy stuff, but all of
Yeah.
that. I'm whatever you need me to be. I'm whatever
Mhm.
sounds the funnest, whatever pushes me the
Oh,
most.
perfect.
Like, I'm just, but at like, okay, at heart, I
Yeah.
am an alto. But like, it can be, honestly, if I'm just chilling and I'm
Mhm.
not trying to do too much, I'm not trying to go too far, alto, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Also, of course, of course. Now that you've been on social media, of course, it's social media really works if you really work it, right? And of course, that's how I met you. Boop, boop. And again, I publicly, privately thank you so much for being a guest on Coffee with Joy. Um, How has that been a limelight for you? How has that taken off for you, where people have seen your work, seen your credibility, just listening? Because I've seen other singers who really utilizes, they work with top brands, they really, it really exploited for them in their own way. So how has showcasing your talent on social media it's coming out so far, if I ask in that way?
Yes. It's still, I'm still learning so much, and it's still
Yeah.
growing. Glory to God. It's still growing in so many ways. And I'm like, seeing where I can take it in an authentic way, because I never want to just, be a grabber for opportunities when I don't really believe in them, or it's a brand
Yeah.
that I don't really wear, and I don't, or it doesn't align with who I am as a person.
Yeah.
So I think like just taking it at God's speed has been amazing. And
Amen.
family and friends, I think that's like the funnest part, because like I can get like kind of timid and shy, when people
Mhm.
bring up stuff like that. So I'm just like, oh, yeah. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw your video." Or my friends may be like, they heard me singing on somebody else's video. Like
Mhm.
this lady, she makes these super relaxing videos where she's like doing a whole spa treatment on natural hair. And
Okay.
like I love coming across her videos, but I've
Yeah.
never like, and then my friend sent me one of her videos. It was like, I was scrolling and I thought I heard your voice, and I went back and I said, "Oh my gosh, that is Kerrityn." I was like,
Oh,
"Oh my gosh." Because a lot of times I'm very much I post and I get off. Like I don't want
yeah.
to overthink it. I don't want to be consumed by it. I
Yeah.
think that anybody who stops to leave a comment or to leave a like is just so kind, because people don't have to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just, I take none of it for granted. I try to reply back to as much as I can, but
Yeah.
also being conscious of who I am as a person. I can get in my head, and I don't want to like just, you don't want that to be all that you take in. You need to touch
Yeah.
grass. It's super
Yeah.
important. And
Yeah.
so like I make sure to do that. But I think just like family and friends reactions to it so far have been like, oh my gosh, my cousins sending me stuff where they tell me in person, "Yeah, I saw that." And I was like, "That's my cousin." And I'm
Yeah.
like, so just to see where God is taking it next and how he
Yeah.
grows it to like a bigger scale, I'm super excited. Stuff is in the work, stuff is happening. So
Yes.
I'm just excited about that. And then
Amen.
yeah, yeah. But it's been great. It has been great. I thank God for social media. At first, I was against TikTok. I'm like, I'm not getting on TikTok. I don't want to be.
Yeah.
And then here I am. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I sung that song too. I said, I don't want these people in my business. I don't want this. And it
Exactly.
took a while. Let me tell you, it took a while. But once sat down and God said, well, really, you telling them what you want. So, and I was like, you know what? And after a while, it was like, oh, you have control. And that's where it is. You really have to
Exactly.
yourself under control, meaning that I share what I want to share. I put
Hmm.
out what I want to put out, and it's consistent on what. And if you know me, then you are a friend. You know things about me, because it's quite a few things. As much as, yes, I'm on social media, there's quite a few things people don't know about me. And even when I tell them, they're like, "What? I can't believe that." They still don't believe it. So I don't even share it. But you have that control. And now that I'm in the mix of everything, it's the truth. I sung that same song. I'm not getting on there. Nobody want to do no social media. But
Yeah,
here we are right here. And it's a great tool if utilized correctly, right?
it is.
If
And
you
and
use it
just
to the best of your ability.
and just like allowing God to use it as his tool, and just really being
Yeah.
his vessel has been like, my thing. And just, when I sing a song, because it used to be at a point where I would try to force it, and I would just get on there, sing whatever song was like, you know,
Yeah.
but now when I sing a song, when I'm on there and I'm singing a song, it's something that's been heavy on my spirit, heavy in my heart. And a lot of times it's for others, sometimes it's for me, and I never really know which way he's going to take it. And I just put it out there. I pray that it reaches his people, and it is what it
Yeah.
is. I get off, log back
Just
on to
do.
answer people and to, socialize a little bit, and then I'm back off.
Yeah, once you do it, hey, God is in your will. Because again, I'm not allowing the enemy to rob me of what the vision that you has for me. Only you and I know the vision. Only you and I understand it. So I have to allow you to allow me to construct it so the eyes can see,
Yes,
and
sir.
bring the people who needs to see it, bring the people who need to hear it. Because at the end of the day, I can't allow my outer part to rob me of what you have for me. Because your
Yes,
eyes
sir.
can rob you of your future, right? Because then the thief of comparison will come in. And once that comes in that will rob you of what you have if you don't steadfast, if you don't stay in prayer and devotion, if you don't stay in God's will, because that's going to happen. You're not the only singer. I'm not the only podcaster, right? So people are doing better than you, but you are doing better than somebody else. But again, that's not the eyes that we're looking at. I'm just doing what you're calling me to do, God. And I'm proud. Of course, behind the scenes, like, yes, congratulate those, because those people who are doing something, it's like, wow, how are they doing it? God, get me there. But at the same time, still use me for my own trials, my own tribulations, my own track. Because again, people see the square and they say, I want that. But you don't know how these people are walking to get where they're at right now. So making sure that allowing God to really utilize you for what you have for your dream and not somebody else.
Right. And
So
that comes
really,
with like practicing and managing perspective. A lot of people,
oh yeah.
and I think that's the problem when you allow comparison to come in. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
but do you have perspective? Are you seeing what you have and what God is entrusted in
Yeah.
you? And how are you working it? And once you really hone in on that and
Yeah.
you realize, oh, I'm not doing nearly as much as like what God is telling me to do or what I need to be doing, it's like you don't even have time to think about what other people are doing. Like you don't
That's
have time to compare, you don't have time to contrast. Like it's
mhm.
just what
That's
do
it.
I need to be doing? What's my next step? What's my next move? How can I elevate spiritually so that, my fruits are where they need to be for others
Mhm.
to have what they need to have from God. So,
And then too, it's just really that comes daily. You really have to practice that daily,
mhm.
because the enemy's going to try. He's going to try, and you got to try harder. But you
Yes,
try harder in God's faith. You
yes,
try in
yes.
His will. He's going to give you the power to override the enemy. But you have to stay in His will to continue to assure that your vision comes to pass. That's all what matters. So, right after these messages, we're going to continue to talk to my guest Kerrityn, and I hope that you all have learned a lot, because Jesus is in the place. He's in the place, people. Let me tell you, he's in the place. Because again, without a dream coming to pass, without God, this dream would not come to pass. So after these messages, we're going to continue to talk to my guest Kerrityn, and she has a project coming up. And hopefully we can learn just a little bit about it. But stay tuned. Right after these messages, we're going to talk to my guest Kerrityn. So that you hit the PayPal QR code, and so that you can find out more about these Q sets and so much more. Let's get to working out. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Coffee with Joy. So excited to have you all back in the building now. Here's my guest Kerrityn. Hey, Kerrityn. I mean, you gave us a mouthful. It was great, like phenomenal. Now we have this project. Can you tell? And correct me, please hold me back. I know we don't want to get too far. It's like a little trailer. We don't want to put too much out there for the people, because again, we don't want to give away everything. We want to give them just a little, not even an appetizer, because appetizer for me still could be a meal. So we just probably want to give the people a taste. You go to Costco and they give you the little white little cup.
The little
We're gonna
cup.
give them that, a little white little cup. You in Costco, people. We're gonna give them a little white cup. So she gonna tell us a little bit about the project. I'm so excited. This is amazing. So what project do you have coming up, Kerrityn?
I do have a project coming up very, very soon. I'm trying to think, what can I say about it? Because, I don't want to say too
Yeah,
much
yeah,
too soon. But I will definitely say that it is for sure a first fruit uh,
yeah.
unto God. And I believe that it is for his people. I know it's for his people. And
Mhm.
a lot of it, okay, a lot of it consists of, things that he's placed in my spirit like over time.
Mhm.
Some pieces, some songs on there, maybe from like 2 years ago that I
Right.
wrote and I just haven't released out into the world yet. So I'm super excited to get that out, to finally like be like, okay, it's been here, it's been stirring, I've sat with it, I've tweaked it, I've altered it, I've, grown with it, and now it's done, it's out in the world. And then
Mhm.
some songs on there for sure will be uh some nice little medleys
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that people have been asking for, and I have not put it out there yet. So,
yeah. That's
it may
great.
be some things that are familiar to you, some things that I haven't written, but I definitely can resonate with and that resonate with me. And
Mhm.
some things, a sound that you haven't quite heard yet. So I think
Yeah.
that's super exciting. It's a bit nerve-wracking, but I'm really excited to get these songs out and, you know, to let God do his thing. Who knows who'll be touched by it? Who knows
Amen.
what seeds will be planted in people and how he'll take it and grow it and flip it and turn it and all of that stuff. So
Right. Yeah. And first, congratulations on your new project, right? Thank you for sharing just a little tidbit.
thank you.
Oh, congratulations. Yes, yes, because it's not hard. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. And it's not hard, it's just taking it day by day, right? And just to make it this far is it's rewarding. It's a self-reward already, knowing that God is given, just continue to illuminate things to say, keep going, my child. I know it's hard, but keep going. And these are the small nuggets that really shows that he's really working in my favor. And I know he's working in my favor, but I
Yeah.
know through the stress, through the tiredness, through that glad, through everything, he's still working in my favor despite what I may think. Because again, we're human, we have our ups and downs, but he still shows out in ways like, wow, he came in just in a nick of time, right? So
Just in the nick of time. Yes, you said something right there. Yes, just in the nick.
tell you, just because people don't understand, failure be sitting right next to you, and failure say, hey, I'm here if you need me, and quit and cross the table talking about we could just give it up. But success says, no, we got to keep fighting. And that's God talking,
Yes,
keep going, keep going.
yes.
And just as when you're close to success, it comes back because God is pushing something, taking something more out of you, right?
You better stop. You
Come
better
on,
stop. You
look,
better
I
stop.
want people to understand if he's gonna move, if he's gonna do what he got to do, he got to do. If you want to listen to God, if you want to listen, this is where it is right here because I can't do nothing without him. I know many people don't want to add him in, but that's just life. He is the source. Everything else is the resource. And I want
Exactly.
people to understand that if he did it for Moses, Jacob, and John and David, I know he's going to do it for good old Joy. So, but again, they had to go through their trials and tribulation, and Joy got to go through her trials and tribulation. But
Yes.
they succeeded, and they succeeded in their way, and I will succeed in mine with him
Right.
and not with man, because
And those
man,
tribulations shape you. Without that, how can you handle what he has for you?
that part.
All growth. All
That part. Now, somebody who's watching, who's probably is a singer who's up and coming, and now that we have social media, right? Because back in the past, you had to go through a marketing company. Now you really don't have to use a marketing company. I'm not saying I won't use one, but for right now, you God is giving you tools where you can express and really market yourself. Somebody who's watching, who's into singing, what tidbit would you give to them if they're just starting off and they're probably feeling like, I can't do this? What would be some encouraging words to them? Because just like yourself, you're just starting, now you have this project and it may have taken a while, but what words would you give to a new person who's just starting off or probably just leaving high school and I really want to sing, but where do I go? How do I go about? How do I start or how do I continue?
Wow, that is such a pat question. Like that is really good, actually.
Thank
When I'm watching interviews, I love questions like this. So
you.
let me try to get it right.
Yeah, and
Um,
there's no right or wrong. It's your story because somebody's watching and saying, "You do, God, you're doing it for her. I know you can do it for me."
right.
But what keeps Kerrityn going? What keeps Kerrityn pushing? Looking towards that light, like, wow, she's still doing it. She's still showing up in her own way on social media because that's the prime way where people see you outside of your family and friends, right? They
Mhm.
see you consistently, and that consistently maybe once a week or twice a week, but they see you showing up regardless. Despite that, what people have to say. Because I don't care about no likes, no comments. They're great, but at the end of the day, I'm validating myself, knowing that I'm not a quitter. I have this vision, and this vision got to come to pass. But I got to trust the process. I got to know that God is walking with me, working with me, and bringing me to it. But I have to stay in it to get to it, whatever that it may be. But
Yeah.
somebody's watching you and saying, how does she do it? Like, how is she's able to do it? So how are you still doing it, and how are you pulling forth on it?
Um, honestly, this is gonna sound so generic, but I have to like it's God. Like it's really just his spirit. And obviously my mom. My mom is one of the most like encouraging, inspirational people that I think anybody could sit down and have a conversation with, not just
Yeah.
myself. So Valerie Joe for sure. I'm gonna plug her because she deserves it. She doesn't do it enough herself. Valerie Joe on socials, especially Instagram, she posts like daily inspirational things, and those things come from like conversations that we have
Yeah.
daily. So if I'm ever really like down, because I'm truly my biggest critic, honestly, I
Mhm.
can say it. And I can just be so down about where I am. in life for just like what I'm doing and just like, because I want to be, like I said, there's one of those cons when you want it
Yeah,
so
yeah.
bad, you're so passionate about it. And she'll say something that'll encourage me, just so encourage my spirit.
Wow.
Yes, and she is a prophetess, so prophetess Valerie. And along with that, just knowing that prophetic words have gone forth,
Yeah.
and God is not a liar. He does not lie.
Amen.
So
Amen.
whatever that word was, whatever he spoke has to come to pass. And
Yeah.
even though I can't see it, I can't reach it, I can't touch it quite yet, it's
Yeah.
there. And I'm
Amen.
just waiting to encounter it. And so for anybody who may be like, oh, how does she do it? Or maybe they want to do it and they just maybe are in their head so much, I would say, I don't like, you have to really pray. Like, you have to pray. And when things look like it's just not going your way, or it's not exactly where you want it to be, you have to commit to yourself and your mind and be like, if it was to happen tomorrow, how could I give up today? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
How could I give up today? And it might just be tomorrow where something
Yeah.
crazy big happens, and opportunities come and all of this stuff. And
Yeah.
you have to get up. I would tell everybody that
Yeah.
you got to get up. If you feel like
Amen.
you've done everything, take a day, be sad
Mhm.
about it, and then the next day, what have I not done?
Yeah.
Like, what have I? Do I truly believe that I've done everything, that I've given it everything I have in me? I don't care if I've been doing it years.
Yeah.
Do I truly believe that I've given it everything?
Yeah.
And I promise you, if you're honest with yourself, there will be at least one thing that you can say, "Nah, I haven't done that," and you go do it. You get up and you go do it. You try it, and then
Amen.
you get so obsessed with it. I honestly think that it's like, I don't even know what the quote is, but like it's something about how like crazy you have to be
Hmm.
to really like see success. And I think that that's so true. Like, it's just
Yeah.
so valid because you have to be willing to try the same thing over and over and over again,
Yep.
and tweak little things about it and see what the outcome is of that, and then say, okay, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna leave that part, I'm gonna take this part, and replicate it over and over again. So I would just say apply that not only to just making videos, but to your craft. Sing
Amen. Yeah.
constantly. Get in front of people, sing. Stop
Yeah.
being scared. I just recently started vocal coaching. So like
Yeah.
I tell my students, breathe,
Hmm.
pray, and get up there and do what you know God has created you to do. And you
Amen.
have to walk boldly in it, because the devil will be bold when he tries to come against you. So you got to be so bold and just
Yes.
so about it and so for it, to where everything else is just like background music, and you just give it your all. You go at it. You constantly try to perfect it. You'll never reach perfection, but if you're constantly doing it, then yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would tell anybody. Go at it crazy. Like
He's there, you know. So,
give it
Kerrityn,
your
as we
all.
bring the show to a close, what is something that keeps you going? And you pretty much nailed it, right? What is one thing that keeps you going? Something as far as prayer, scripture, affirmation. What keeps Kerrityn going along her journey towards being the next success in singing?
There's a scripture, actually. A
Hmm.
scripture, of course, songs. God
Yeah.
always speaks to me through like worship songs. In my time with Him, I'm constantly in a place of worship.
Yeah.
Um, oof, just all the time. That's all I ever have playing in my space in my room. But my favorite verse, John 13:7. And it is, I have it on as my phone screen cover.
Yeah.
So
I whoop, whoop,
you
girl.
don't
Yeah.
understand now what I'm doing, but someday you will. In that
Amen.
verse, I just look at it and I'm like, nothing makes sense right now, or I thought it was making sense and it doesn't make sense. And I look at that and it's just like a reminder. You don't
Yeah.
understand now, but someday you will. So
Yes. Ooh, well, you got a cheerleader over here, of course. No longer a stranger. Yes, yes, yes. So, Kerrityn, thank you from the bottom of my heart for Coffee with Joy. So glad to have you on. I look forward to the success that is happening and will continue to happen. So, thank you so much. And keep in mind, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy, for you all heard some great things. Please make sure that you always keep God first, even if that dream doesn't look like it. It doesn't even look like it's coming to pass. God already has a plan for you. If you put it in your heart, it is going to come to pass, people. Stay focused. Keep the eyes on Him, and don't be like Peter and put the eyes down. Keep going, people. God has a plan for you and I. So please, if you like to patronize our company, please make sure that you follow our QR codes that's located right here on the screen. For any amount would do to keep our company going. And please make sure, if you would love to be a guest, or You would love to see our show? Please visit us at thecoffeewithjoyshow.com or email us at thecoffeewithjoyshow@gmail.com. And keep in mind, as you always know, if it's a weekday or weekend, it is Coffee with Joy. Until then, you all live life on purpose and see you all soon.